If you want to add multiple maps to your app, it's fairly straightforward. All I've done is creating a blank project called multiple maps. You'll also need to open in the other window the maps project, and then we're going to copy it across as we have in the past. So bring up the maps one, work out which of the 3 maps you want to copy across. If it's just a straightforward one like showing Google Maps, you can just copy it, Control C, paste it in, and we're going to make a couple of those. So if you do Control D, it just duplicates that view controller. So I've made 2 of those. We're going to add in some buttons. So button 1 we'll call Map 1, and then we'll do another button, Map 2, and we'll do our usual Control drag, just create a segue between the 2, and back again. And for Map 1, same, Control drag, show, and then back, Control drag, show. Now we need to copy across the .swift files. So we'll go back to our map window. We want to get the correct one of our .swift files, so that was the map view, and we can drag and drop that in there. Finish. So that will work for the first one. The second one, if we just try and drag and drop it in, it'll say that there already exists one in there. So if we go finish, there's already one in there, so that won't work. So what we need to do is just change the name. So we can go Map View Controller 2, drag that in, copy it, and we need to add a few little bits because we copied it exactly. The class is still Map View Controller, but we need it to be Map View Controller 2. And that should get rid of that error. If we go to our main storyboard, both of these are currently linked to Map View Controller, and we need the second one not to be Map View Controller but to be Map View Controller 2, and that way they should be assigned. So if we run that, we should be able to get the 2 maps showing up. There's the first map, and there's the second map. Now it's difficult to tell the difference because they're both for the same location. So let's just quickly change Map View Controller 2. Okay, so we'll change these to different locations. So we'll go 37.2 and -122. We'll change the zoom as well, and we'll run that. And Map 1. There we are, we're in somewhere in North America. If we zoom out, we might get a better idea of where we're actually sitting, but you can see how we are able to, San Francisco, there you go. Select 2 different maps, both centering on different places. If you wanted to add maps that add pins in 2 different locations, it's a little bit more complicated, but we still do a similar process. So let's do a couple more buttons. We'll call this Map Pin 1 and Map Pin 2. This time we need to go to our window, and we're going to select our view with pins, Control C, Control V, oops, just clicked off that, need to do that again. If it doesn't copy straight away, you just need to do it again. So make sure you select the view, Control C, across, Control V. And because we want 2 of them, we're just going to do a Control D to duplicate, and we'll end up with the 2 view controllers where we want. Okay, so we'll again segue between them. Control drag, show, control drag, show. We'll do our segue back, control drag, show, and control drag, show. And we need to copy across our Swift files, so we'll go back to our map window, and this time of course we're copying our pin location one in, so we'll drag that across. Pin location, we need to make sure that copy items if needed is selected, and because we've got two of them, remember we need to copy the next one across, but we need to change that to map pin view controller 2 so it doesn't try to overlay the previous one. Copy in if needed, and what I would do is always go back to the map and just remove those 2's, because otherwise it might muck you up next time you run this, because if it has 2 there and it's not changed in the .swift file, it won't run. So we now need to change it in our .swift file. So we've got that, but remember we copied it straight across and it just comes across as map pin view controller. We need to adjust that to map pin view controller 2. Then we go to our main storyboard and make sure that our 2 are associated with the correct one. So this one's associated with map pin view controller. This one also is associated with that. We need to change it to 2. Now there's a couple of other bits of information we need to change with these. If we go to the 2, what at the moment will happen is it will save the pins over top of each other because they're saving exactly the same location. So we just need to change our variables. So we're just going to go through and change all of these variables. So it's going to be lat 2, long 2, pin title 2, location 2. Then we need to change all of the locations that we're going to save these in. So we don't need to change those. I'll drop those back, sorry. I'll tell you why in a minute, because really it doesn't matter what they're called in the program, it's just where we save them. So all the strings we're saving them to, we need to adjust those to 2. And if we go down, change that to 2. And these all need to be changed to 2. And we do need to change the pins, because we use that to check if things have actually been updated. So let's run that and we'll see if they'll load. Okay, so we've got map pin 1. We'll add in do try, and we'll put our pin down for do try. And now we need to go to map pin 2. It hasn't loaded any pins. We're going to put in a different one here. We'll call this go here. Go here, and it's great. So this will load a different set of pins onto this map. And we should be able to then check. Go here, great. If we go back to map 1, we've got the other map, and that one is do try. So now we now have 2 maps that are saving different sets of pins, and of course you can change the locations of both maps so they're showing different locations as well. So that's how we do multiple map views within the one app.